Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our third session of Missed Connections this year. I am so excited to start the conversation about workforce and apprenticeships. So without ado, we will go ahead and get started. My name is Emma Bittner. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a policy fellow for Young Invincibles in Texas, primarily for healthcare and workforce opportunity. Next slide, please. Awesome. So this is just a quick overview of how today is going to run. I ask everyone to welcome everyone, put your name, pronouns, and your organization or university in the chat. We're going to do a quick overview of work-based learning, kind of build a really nice platform and foundation for today's conversation. Then we're going to get to introduce and launch our official report for Young Invincibles. And we will close out with a panel of some lovely young women who have completed an apprenticeship, and then we will conclude out and have time for any questions, but I am excited to get started with everyone. So next slide. So today's session is a really exciting one for us. We are officially launching our Women and Parents in the Texas Workforce, Building a Path to Apprenticeship report. This report has been about a year in the making, and a ton of hard work has gone in from YI Texas, our national team, and of course, our Youth Apprenticeship Council, who has put in so much time over the last 6 months to help us build out this report and recommendations. So I could not be any more excited to share that with you all today. So next slide. So I think one of the really big foundations of our report is that Texas women and mothers seek opportunity for career transition. Registered apprenticeships and work-based learning are highly effective, but an underutilized tool to provide Texas women a cost-effective path to a new career and financial prosperity. What's really important from this is that we see that Texas women and mothers want to seek career change. They want this opportunity, and that apprenticeships and work-based learning are highly effective and a great opportunity, but they're underutilized, and that's really something that we need to fix. And that was kind of a goal and aim for our report. So we see in this the word apprenticeship and work-based learning, and those are two terms that people may not be super familiar with. So we're going to go ahead and build out those definitions to have a better understanding for the rest of this conversation. Next slide. Awesome. So work-based learning, this is a definition pulled directly from our report, but work-based learning is a training program that includes 3 key components: aligned classroom and workplace learning, application of classroom academic, technical, or employable skills in a work setting, and finally, support from classroom and or workplace mentors. So these are all really 3 key components to work-based learning. And from this, we can also see that registered apprenticeship programs meet the definition because of their structure. But what exactly is an apprenticeship? So next slide. Thank you. So an apprenticeship is an industry-driven, high-quality career pathway that combines paid work with education and result in a portable, nationally recognized credential. This differs from work-based training for a couple of reasons, in that apprenticeships are jobs. They include on-the-job learning and on-the-job related classroom training. On-the-job learning takes place in a work setting, and the training results in a credential. So we can see there's a little bit of overlap between work-based learning and apprenticeship, but they do differ. Both provide incredible opportunity as a pathway into the workforce. And in Texas, there's a lot to learn from this, the current landscape, and really diving into that. And that is really what our report encompasses today. Next slide. So the number of apprenticeships in Texas has grown by 81% since 2014. Over the past 8 years, that's an incredible growth in Texas. Yet, excuse me, the problem with that is only 9.7% of all registered apprentices in Texas are women. That is an incredibly low number and highly concerning. But this is not just something that's occurring in Texas. This also tracks very highly with the national rate of women in apprenticeships, which is just around 10%. So we can see we've had massive growth in Texas, but women are still very much behind in getting these apprentices. And that's something that we want to change. I know, 9.7%. It's a really stark number, and it's disappointing. And our report shows how we can make these changes and why apprenticeships are so incredible and such an amazing opportunity. We have a video to show you from some amazing women in our Youth Apprenticeship Council that talk about their apprenticeship experience, why it's so important, and why we really need to elevate these voices and help other women get included in this opportunity. So we will go ahead and show that video to all of you. Are we able to turn the sound up a little bit? I'm hearing that some of our participants cannot hear the audio. Is there any way to restart it or maybe change the audio format from those running tech? Thank you so much. While we get that video back up and running, this was really exciting. It's one of our first launches of the report and really focuses on the storytelling aspect of how incredible apprenticeships are. So I
never thought that being an electrician or being an apprentice could do so much for my family and I.
Honestly, it's been mind-blowing what is out there that I didn't know about.
I'm super excited about the growth that I have seen happen in the small amount of time that we've worked together.
I think that right now many women in Texas don't know that these programs exist, and they deserve to know that these programs exist and these programs change their lives.
My name is Rosa Diaz.
I'm the mother of 2 boys.
And I am formerly a digital marketing apprentice.
If given the opportunity, a lot of high school students would choose apprenticeships.
We always think about it, you have to go to school for years to jump into the medical field, and that's not true at all.
The short time frame that college doesn't give.
Normal courses take 9 to 12 months. I went through a program that took 16 weeks.
It's also in a way that's affordable. With the way things are now, college is extremely expensive, and so apprenticeships offer an alternative to that.
I didn't have any additional debt for tuition.
It has afforded me the opportunity to be able to touch and help over thousands of people.
The digital marketing apprenticeship allowed me to gain a new skill set that I didn't have before.
Job security and advancement in my new field.
The apprenticeship helped me kind of meet in the middle and teach me the hard skills, the technical skills, but also teach me a lot of really soft core skills.
At the end of the apprenticeship, I felt very confident in what I was doing.
I know that if I can do this, I can master anything.
I've been able to meet some amazing women and people on this journey.
Having the support of other people is paramount to success.
Those women have really become my mentors and those who have been my backbone.
The coaching and mentorship I got through the apprenticeship program is really probably the reason I am where I am today.
It's time that we show these guys that we can do this, and with a baby in our arm.
Very passionate about telling young women or young people from lower socioeconomic situations, just letting them know that they can overcome, that they can be more than their societal or cultural construct.
To educate and empower women about the trades all available to us.
There's nothing that should just be
Doesn't it just give you chills? I think the first time I watched that video, I was in such awe to see the amazing stories that women that we were able to work with in creating this report and how impactful apprenticeships were on their life. And it was so amazing. And I'm so excited because we do get the opportunity to showcase a couple of those women later on during our panel today. As we get the presentation back up and running, I'm excited to talk through kind of the data and the actual nitty-gritty details of our report. So as we can see here, this is our table of contents, groundbreaking, I know, but this is the outline of our report. And really it does step-by-step of building a landscape of apprenticeships in Texas and talking through the data and truly understanding what those numbers mean. We couple that with community perspectives, which many of those partners are in the chat today. And as participants, we talked to over 26 partners and had informational interviews to learn about what was working in apprenticeships, what was not, and what can change. We then have a youth perspective section, which highlights our Youth Apprenticeship Council and really their voices, hearing what they had to say and what needs to change from their experiences. This really fueled our recommendations that not only help us on a statewide level, but also a national level of making apprenticeships more equitable and accessible for women and mothers. And then lastly, we end off with a conclusion. But so we will dive into that data to kind of give you just a sneak peek of what this report really does entail. So next slide, please. So this is just a chart of most common occupations for male apprentices. We can see them at 37% are electricians, and then plumbers and pipe fitters, and structural iron workers and telecommunications. Most of these fields are in the trades, and we see men working in the trades, and that's not something uncommon. Next slide. We see this compared to female apprentices. So that same high number is still 37%, but we see that female apprentices are registered nurses, and then followed by only 10% electricians, and then nursing assistants, and then some trade fields, but not as many. We see that most female apprentices are in the healthcare industry of registered nurses and nursing assistant, making almost half of the programs that females are in. Next slide. When looking at these occupations that female apprentices are a part of, we look at this chart/graph, we see all the different apprenticeship programs and the breakdown of race and ethnicity that women are in. At the very top of the graph, we see registered nurses, which is the highest earning occupation, all the way down to the bottom, which is childcare workers. I think the most important thing that we see in this graph is the difference of registered nurses versus nursing assistants, which is second to the bottom. With apprenticeships, we need to seek how to really make career path connections between nursing assistants, getting them to registered nurses, to have more economic prosperity and career opportunity, and really getting more women involved in apprenticeship opportunities. And we can really see the race and ethnic breakdown of this and how important it is to understand the equitable opportunities that apprenticeships provide. Next slide, please. So Young Invincibles, as part of our research, did a statewide survey. We interviewed and reached out to over 1,000 women and mothers 18 to 34 in Texas. And of those who responded, 41% had a child under 17 at home, a large portion of those respondents. And 75% of those responded in our 1,000-person survey wanted to pursue additional education and training the next 2 years. We're interested in an earn while you learn model, being able to learn the hard skills you need while also earning a wage and an income to be livable. Next slide, please. So we see from this that so many people don't actually know what an apprenticeship is. From that statewide survey, most Texas women ages 18 to 34 are not familiar or familiar at all with an apprenticeship. If that's not a red flag, I'm not quite sure what is. It's something that really raised flags for us to know that we need to make outreach more equitable. We need people to know opportunities of apprenticeships, because from the video we've seen, apprenticeships can be life-changing and women are valuable in these spaces. And we really want to make them not only known to people, but opportunities for people to indulge in. Next slide. So I mentioned a large part of our report was fueled by our Youth Apprenticeship Council of 12 amazing women who've completed a pre-apprenticeship or an apprenticeship. I had the opportunity of leading this council, and every single meeting I was blown away by them. Next slide. From our conversations, there were some key themes that really emerged and are shown in our report, and I'm so excited to kind of elevate those here now. But the things that really showed up were apprenticeships are life-changing, and that these women in apprenticeships seek to inspire other women in these opportunities. Learning about and starting the apprenticeship is often the most challenging part of the journey, which we've seen time and time again. And having specific information about long-term pay and career demand is needed, especially for women getting started in these fields. Mentorships are invaluable and really propel women forward, and payment in childcare during training is essential to make these opportunities equitable, but also just accessible for people to go ahead and pursue them. And lastly, healthcare is needed in every single field and every single trade, and we've seen that time and time again. So the perspectives of the Youth Apprenticeship Council not only fueled the perspective section, but also our recommendations. These are 5 high-level recommendations from our report. I could give probably just a 3-hour conversation about all of our recommendations. So to keep this short, we're going to highlight a few top-line ones, such as state equity initiatives, targeted outreach and communication, childcare expansion, inclusive programming and supports, and investing in sustainable long-term career pathways. All of these are recommendations that would not only make women have more opportunity in apprenticeships, but would get the word out about apprenticeships. We would raise that 9.7% of women in apprenticeships to a skyrocketing number. These are just 5 of our recommendations, and I really do implore and encourage everyone to read our report in depth. It's 48 amazing pages with so many more recommendations than just these 5 on the screen, and we'd love to go more in detail with that. But I would offer everyone to go ahead and do that on their own time, so I can give some time to our amazing panelists. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, we do have some incredible panelists with us today. They are all members of our Youth Apprenticeship Council. I'm so excited for them to be here to share kind of their experience and wisdom with all of you. So I will hand it off to our panelists to introduce themselves with their names, pronoun, industry, and how they got started in their apprenticeship. So Jennifer, I will pass it off to you to kick us off.
Uh-oh. Sorry. Oh, it's okay. Patience. I'm Jennifer Cobb. I'm a third year apprentice electrician out of Austin area. And I got started because my brother is a journeyman electrician out of Washington, and I attended Skill Point.
Amazing. And Anna?
Hi, my name's Anna Ponish. My pronouns are she, her. I participated in New Apprenticeship. It's a digital marketing apprenticeship. I graduated in 2019, and I'm currently a freelance social media manager and consultant.
Awesome. And Diana?
Hello, my name is Diana Paez. My pronouns are she, her. I started my apprentice when I got to this country. I'm from Colombia, and I didn't have any title here, but I wanted to get into the digital marketing field. So I found this opportunity. I graduated last year, and I'm currently a marketing coordinator in a hospital here in San Antonio. So I'm so glad to be here and share my experience.
Wonderful. Thank you all. I am so excited for the conversations that we're going to have today. It's going to be incredible, and you're so lucky to be here to hear these conversations, to everyone on board. So we will start off with our first question. So I mentioned a statewide survey earlier, but on our statewide survey, 75% of those seeking more training were interested in an earn and learn opportunity. Why do you all think that these types of opportunities are so attractive for young people in Texas? And anyone, feel free to start.
I'll begin. For me, as an adult with 2 young children, it was important for me to earn while I learn so that I can maintain our household, provide food, and the basic necessities that it takes to take care of myself and raise 2 children. It's been just completely valuable. I've received up to a $9 raise over the course of 3 years while attending my pre-apprenticeship, and I haven't received that in any other field that I've worked in, and I've worked within other fields either 3 years or more.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and answer as well. I think it's really important for young people to know about these apprenticeships, that they exist, and to earn while you learn, because having a college degree is very helpful, and I think it's important, but it also doesn't guarantee that you're going to have a job as soon as you get out of college. And that was my experience. I ended up in my apprenticeship a little bit older. I'm 35. And so reflecting back, had I known about apprenticeships when I graduated from high school, I think I would have chosen that path, because earning money while you learn just helps you financially. It was a huge financial burden for myself and for my family just to get through college. And so just based on my experiences, I think that young people deserve to know and should know about apprenticeships as an option.
All right, so for me, they definitely need to know about these kind of programs, just because right now experience is kind of over of the, like, you can get a degree, but if you don't have experience, getting a job is getting difficult. So in this kind of program, you get the experience at the same time that you get the knowledge to apply for any role in the corporate field. So I think that this is a great opportunity to combine those 2 things and start your professional life. That is what I think that is important, that every young people know that this program exists, just because they can change your life in a professional way.
Amazing. Thank you all. I know you all bring up such incredible points, and all of your stories are amazing. And I think Anna brought up something really great, that a college degree is amazing and can help you get so many opportunities, but it does not guarantee you a job right after graduation. And that can be a stressful time. And apprenticeships really open up a lot of opportunity earning while you learn. So thank you all for bringing that up. I think our next question follows pretty closely. Another finding on our survey was that few women know about apprenticeships. What are things that you think Texas could do to enhance awareness and access to apprenticeships?
For me, I feel like if we actually got out to job fairs and high school and middle school events, they can plan sooner and become aware so that they can make a wise decision. I attended my child's career fair day a couple weeks back, and these kids, elementary, they had an idea of what they wanted to do. And I mean, I wish I knew way back when. So I just think if we actually got inside the schools and also job fairs and public postings, I think that would help a great deal.
Yes, Jennifer, I agree completely. I mean, I think recruitment in the high school sphere is super important. Also, job fairs. Something that I thought about a lot were mom groups. I think sometimes when you're a stay-at-home mom or your mom, it can be hard to think about being able to complete a program when you have so many people who, or like the little people, right? Or your toddlers or your kids need you so much. And so it can be hard to carry that burden. And so I think just active recruitment would be super important. I thought of like the recruitment that I had when I had to college. I had a lot of colleges and I had military recruiters come through, but I don't remember having apprenticeships even as an option, aside from the traditional ones like electrician or, nursing, but those were through the guidance counselor. No one came into the classroom and talked to me about it. So I think that's super important.
All right, so definitely social media is such a wonderful tool, as such a powerful tool as well to promote things like this. People doesn't know that this program exists, and I think that social media is an amazing way to spread the word. So I want to share a little of experience where I share my story on TikTok about my apprenticeship program, and that video hits over 1,100 views. And people were start asking me, hey Diana, where is this? Is this a nationwide? Is it just in Texas? People don't know, because if people knowing about this program, I'm pretty sure they're gonna roll in and start these programs as soon as possible. So I think that a social media campaign will help many people to know about apprenticeship programs, not just in Texas, but all United States over.
Amazing. Thank you. I know it is insane to think that the conversation around apprenticeships is not more vast and happening more often. I know for me, I am a senior in college and I know very little about apprenticeships before doing this report. If I had known about apprenticeships before, it may have very well changed my pathway. And really introducing this conversation to people when they're younger, elementary, middle school, high school, before you go to college is super important, and really starting that conversation early on. So thank you all for all of your incredible insight. Our next question is really something that's important to all of us, but why is it important that women and parents in particular are given more opportunities to access apprenticeships?
I love the fact that although I am a single mom, that I am able to teach my two boys tools and they're young handymen. Like, they help me. I had to go hang fans at my grandparents' house, and my kids they know that if mommy can do it, they can do it. And I'm there's nothing that they don't believe that I can't get done. Like, they have all faith in me, and on my doubting days, like, that gives me encouragement, because they know that mommy is still in school, that I'm not just telling them to do their homework just because it sounds good, but we can actually sit down as a family and do our homework at one time. Oh, I'm telling them to read. I also have my own assignments to read. So I like being that example for my children, and showing them that better is to come if you just do what what you have to do, and take a chance, and step out on your, step out of your comfort zone. So I mean, it for any other mother to be able to do that, I think would be great. And I encourage that, like, be the example for your babies.
Yes, I think being a role model is super important, to your children and to other family members as well. I think of my nieces and nephews who looked up to me as well, and they didn't know what apprenticeship was, and and so I think that it's important to be a role model. I also think that women provide a unique perspective in the workforce, just in general. I think women have just a unique voice, and oftentimes it's missing, as we can, as we saw the data. Oftentimes there's a lot of male dominated fields, for whatever that reason may be. You're missing out on that perspective of women, the way they think, or even as parents in general, you learn some skills when you learn to, manage emotions and all these things in the household. Those are things that you can directly affect the workforce, and specifically with apprenticeships as well. And so I just think we're missing out on a perspective if we don't have parents and women in apprenticeships.
So in my case, I think that mentorship is such a huge thing when you need to complete this, not just the apprenticeship in general, but kind of your professional life. You can be a good professional if you're not a good person, if your emotions are not stable. So mental health right now is such an important thing that we need to take care about it. So I think that having this mentorship during this program that can guide you through how you complete your apprenticeship program, how you can talk to your boss about it, how you can complete your tasks during the apprenticeship program is such an important thing, and it's such a powerful thing. I think that mentorship helped me to complete this program because I was new to this country. I didn't know the culture, I didn't know the language. So coming here and getting into a program that I had a mentorship all the time, not just with my with the people that was working there, but with my peers, it was such an impactful thing for me and helped me to go through this program and had the role that I have right now and being here with you guys. I think that mental health is such an important thing, and mentorship is so powerful to complete your professional life and start kind of involve your personal life too. So mentorship for me is kind of a number one thing to start.
Absolutely wonderful. I could not have said it better. And I think it's so important to know that women are not only needed in this space, but provide such a different perspective that it is essential to not only elevate the careers of women, but also elevate the work and the workforce. And I think it's so incredible, all of you sharing your stories, that yes, being in this work is life-changing. You not only provide an example, I think all of the comments in the chat are really uplifting, that you are incredible and you are so, so, so correct. Our next question goes off of not only why it's important, but what do we need to do to best support women? So what supports do you think are most important to ensure that women and parents can complete an apprenticeship program?
So, okay, again, patience. Childcare is it's essential. My initial pre-apprentice at Skill Point, it was summertime, so I didn't have to worry about childcare. My children were they're old enough to fend for themselves, but had it been any other time of the year, I would have definitely needed assistance. And I'm sure there's plenty of mothers who have children of maybe younger ages who can't like fend for themselves and old enough to watch themselves. So maybe like a child care assistance, or even providing like a child care facility specific for that group of students is definitely needed.
So I also think that having resources available is important. So it's not just, I I agree with the childcare 100%. But also in conjunction with that, the practical resources and the help needed for like things like test anxiety or mental health, or, you know, it goes a long way. I think I was a first gen student, and I wasn't prepared for what came at me when I went to college. And with the apprenticeship, I did have the experience of having some help and somebody to kind of walk alongside me. But having a resources for like my test anxiety, that would have helped me a lot. It would have helped me set a standard for success for myself, or set like good expectations versus expectations that I felt I was consistently failing in when I was in college, which I did not necessarily have in the apprenticeship program. But I think that we just need to see that more, those resources, and know how to access them.
So definitely opportunity for those that come from another countries like me, who doesn't have any experience or degree in this country. That was the first barrier that I find when I wanted to go to college or when I wanted to get a job, because I didn't have any experience before, or because I didn't have any degree in this country. It was kind of a challenge for me to get through, like, into the corporate field. So I think that having those opportunities for people that come to this country and want to find or start a degree, but don't have the money to pay for it, I think that this is a great opportunity. If we can expand these opportunities around the country, it will be really useful for that people that want to come and be professional and start like a corporate life in this country, a life that they don't know that exists. So open more opportunities for people that come from other places. I think that will be nice.
Absolutely. I think everything mentioned is absolutely essential for not only women and parents to complete an apprenticeship, but also flourish in these spaces. And I think everything mentioned is something that is mentioned in our recommendations of our report, really pushing for this change, not only at a state level, but a federal level, and really pushing for legislation to uplift and support apprenticeships, to make these supports necessary and mandated, and to really help people complete and do incredible work in creating these opportunities. So thank you all for sharing that. I think it's so essential, and hearing that from your own personal experience really drives home how necessary that these supports are. Our last question before we open it up to any audience questions is, what would you tell other women looking to go into your industry or apprenticeships?
That is my favorite question. And my answer is to do it. I totally, my saying is just do what scares you. And I mean, electricity, it scared me, but not enough to scare me away. Like, it's intriguing. I want to learn more about it. So just any field that interests you, just do it. Like, just take a step out on faith, because you never know where you can go. Just joining this apprenticeship has taken me so far, and I've had some great opportunities. And so you never know where you're gonna go. So just try it.
Yes, Jennifer, 100%. I also think that you can explore outside your comfort zone. I think oftentimes, at least for myself, I can set up an idea that I can't do something because I don't have experience in it, or for whatever reason, you know, I don't think I can do it. But the truth is that if you have passion and drive and you apply yourself, you can do it. And so I think there's a golden opportunity to make a change and to find purpose, and it's out there for you. And I think that in apprenticeships, it's a way to do it, you know, like as we've mentioned, if you work and earn at the same time, it's a way to do it without being, you know, drowning in debt when you graduate. So I think definitely do it. You know, I think that you can find people around you to help support you, and the resources are there. So yeah, I just say do it. Just out of your comfort zone, take a leap of faith.
So I'm 100% agree. Definitely, if someone asks me, Diana, do you recommend this? I will say like 1,000%. I will recommend this, because not only change your professional life, but change your personal life, giving you that security that you can get into the dream that you want to get. So if someone, as I said, asks me about this experience, I will say that it worked. It worth the work, it worth the sometimes you will be afraid that if you're going to be able to complete it, but nothing is going to be like more exciting when you complete these programs and when you feel that you get that, and it's kind of important. That does give you a new vision about the workforce. It gives you the experience, but it gives you the money to continue and complete this program. So I will say do it like 100%.
Amazing. I think Jennifer said it right. This is also my favorite question. Absolutely do it. I think all of our panelists have outlined such incredible opportunities and how amazing their apprenticeship was, and they can be truly life-changing, which is why it's so important that we uplift apprenticeships, make them equitable, make them accessible for people, and really just encourage people to dive right in. I know Jennifer said it scared her, but not enough to scare her away, which I think is absolutely incredible and such a key takeaway. So thank you all. We do have a few questions from our audience before we wrap up in the next couple of minutes. The first one I'm going to open up to our panelists. What is the admission application process like for an apprenticeship program? I know it differs from apprenticeship to apprenticeship, but what was that application and admissions process like for all of y'all?
So for myself, I went to Skill Point, and I left a voicemail. Within 2 days, they called me back, told me to come for the application. I took a test several days later, and within 2 weeks, I was seated in my class, and within a month, I had graduated my initial pre-apprenticeship. So it was really fast.
And I think my experience was I heard of the apprenticeship through word of mouth. So a friend of mine had just completed it. But once I started the process, similarly, I called, left a voicemail, and then I ended up speaking with the recruiter. We got to talk through my goals and kind of why I wanted to be in the apprenticeship. And I would say within 2 to 3 weeks, I was enrolled in the program, and we started looking for a placement for myself. In a digital marketing apprenticeship, you were looking for a company to work with. And so then they started assisting me to be able to do that.
So I was in the same program as Anna. I was looking for a job, and I found this opportunity on Indeed. I thought at the beginning that was just like an opportunity to work, but then I found out that was an apprenticeship program I haven't heard before, and I started this program within 3 weeks after my first meeting with Anna. And then after a month, I get my job and I start my program. So before I start my program, I start like an apprenticeship kind of program that is kind of give you some advice on some idea of what this program is about. So it was pretty easy and it was pretty nice.
Amazing. Thank you. Another question we have from the audience is that they are interested in hearing our thoughts on when and where apprenticeship programs should be advertised to high school seniors, college freshmen, college graduates. What is the best answer there? I know we've highlighted early on is really important, but I think you all know best because you were in these programs. What do you think is the best time, when and where to advertise these?
The best time, I believe, is high school. But again, I was just I was just preaching to some elementary students. So I let everyone that I encounter know, like, there are other options. I tell my children, at first it was like college, but now, like, I let them know that they have other options. But if I guess to get a bang for your buck, I would advertise to high school students, early on high school students.
I would say that there's a place for all three. I would say high school seniors is probably the best to get them a longer opportunity, as far as like they're younger and they're looking, they don't have any debt. Hopefully they don't have any debt. And so I think getting them into the workforce quicker and with setting them up with financial success is amazing. So I'd say, like, in recruitment in high school seniors, as they're applying for colleges, I think that's the best time. I'd say as a college freshman, oftentimes you go into college not really knowing what you want to do. So I'd say working with the guidance counselors, honestly, within colleges and community colleges would be the best place as well. I know that the friend of mine that I learned from that I learned about the apprenticeship from, he was a college graduate who was struggling to find a job and came across the apprenticeship. So that's why I say that there's a place for all of it, but I'd say that the most opportune time would be high school seniors.
Wonderful. And I think we are just about out of time. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to email them to me and I will get the proper answer and best answer out to you with the help of our amazing panelists. I cannot say thank you enough to everyone who joined us on our panel today. Jennifer, Diana, and Anna, you all are absolutely amazing. And I could not have said anything better myself. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us today to talk a little bit of a teaser of our report launch. I am so excited and invite everyone to go read it a little bit more in depth and reach out to us. That does officially launch today. So we are so thrilled. And next slide, please. Before you go, please don't forget to come to our upcoming session that starts in about 18 or 19 minutes about today's students and hearing how the pandemic has exacerbated economic and racial disparities amongst today's students. Hear their firsthand reflections and recommendations. It's going to be something you don't want to miss. But thank you all so much. We are so excited to finally share this report out. It's been a long time coming, and we are so grateful to have the opportunity to do that. Have a great rest of your Friday, and we will see you at 2. Thank you.